it is time to get started on guitar number 2. I was working on all 3 simultaneously, but I got overwhelmed. So, one at a time. I'm gonna do the same thing where I split the top just on the wings of the body. So what I wanna do is I want to get the top roughed out and then glued onto the wings so that I can thickness them and then joint all of these faces so I can glue up the body all together and get started on cavities. So, first things first, let's grab this top. Okay. Let's glue them up. All right, we'll let that cure for a couple hours and then we'll glue up the other side. But while we're waiting for this one to dry enough to get out of clamps, I can joint these faces. So let's do that. It's been about an hour. I'm just gonna take this out of clamps just to put it back into clamps, but in a different way, you'll see. I'm gonna sandwich it between some boards, and that's gonna spread out a bunch of clamping pressure here. A little something like that, just for the rest of the night. So we'll leave this for the night and come back tomorrow to do the rest. I'll do the other one, but you get the point. It is the next day. Time to get these things out of clamps. The next step is to flush trim this edge here and then get the sides sanded down. Let's get to it. All right, with that done, let's move over to the belt and spindle sander. I lied, since the jointer is already up here, we're just going to do a quick joint and then we'll do the belt and spindle sander. Now that these guys are profiled, it's time to get them thickness. Okay, taking this through upside down so it takes off the mahogany and not the maple we just put on. Thicknessing came out great. It's time for glue up. As you know, I'm an absolute amateur and I'm struggling to get this glue up straight. If you have any tips on gluing up awkward shapes like this, let me know. Okay, I think that's the best I'm gonna be able to do. If you have any tips on how to get better glue ups, or especially when working with really crazy complex shapes and them not sliding around, I guess I could do like biscuits or some other type of joinery. I don't know. Any other guitar builders out there have any tips on how to glue wings? Because definitely wouldn't have this problem if I was doing a set neck or a bolt-on, but we're learning. All that's left to do is wait. All right, this thing has had time to dry. Let's get it out of clamps. Give this whole thing a light sanding. I'm gonna hit the neck here with a bar so I don't do any damage to this flat surface. Okay, let's get an idea for what this grain's gonna look like. Because I free-handed all of these shapes, there's some inconsistencies between the core and the wings. So I need to cut some bigger pieces off with the bandsaw, and then I'm going to smooth it all out with the belt and spindle sander, and we'll go from there. Now that the body is properly profiled, I'm going to start working on cavities. And I think I want to do something different than I've ever done with the pickups. So let's make some templates and get to routing. So I want to mount the pickups from the back like this, as opposed to dropping them down into the top. So I'm going to route out a big cavity in the back of the guitar, which is also going to help with weight relief. But I have some decisions to make. So I'm just going to trace out the whole body so I can have a template for this body later if I decide I really like the shape. But it is a prototype, so I probably won't. But I need to use the shape of the body to make a template for the cavities and all the other good stuff that's going to go on here. Okay, let's cut these out. Jigsaw time. We've got templates. I think I can route out these the holes for the pickups on the front right now, and then be done for the day and get into my favorite part tomorrow. Well, I have work tomorrow. Dang it, damn you gigs. Well, today we're going to route out, before I finish the day, I'm routing these pickup holes out. So let's do that. Yeah. It is time to carve the body, my favorite part of guitar building. I have a decision to make. Do I want to do a chamfer around the whole top like I did the last build, or do I want to keep it a little more subtle? I'm thinking just big comfort carve and chamfer up the side here on this side, and then obviously big cutaway here for access to the upper frets. We'll start with that, and if I want to do a big chamfer, I can always do that later. Okay, so let's get started. I think what I want to do next is get this transition here, and I'm going to come up further into the back of here for a little bit more high fret access, but I want to try my hand at power carving. So I think I'm going to go to Home Depot and get some discs for the angle grinder. Well, there's no power carving tools or discs for the angle grinder at the big box store, so I'm going to call it for the day because it is excruciatingly hot out. What's up? All right, I've got some wood carving angle grinding discs, and I'm super excited. I had a play on some scrap, and I think that this is going to work out great. So let's carve. I think I need to hit a couple more spots with the angle grinder just to get this, the shape, the right shape. It's like 107 outside, so I'm going to take a break and come back out when it's cooler. Very happy with where this is at. There's probably tons of other sanding to do, but I don't really want to do sanding right now. But the hand fits really great in this little recess here behind the neck. So that's really all I'm wanting to do, is make sure that this line is nice and clean before I work on the fretboard and the neck in the following days. So I've got myself a bunch of Goncalo, which was about 60 bucks for what potentially could be 16 fretboards. I was gonna go with Granadillo, but to order that from Woodworker's Source was gonna cost me like 30 bucks for 2 board feet, so 30 bucks for about this much, and 20 bucks in shipping. So for 50 bucks I could have got, maybe it would have been a thicker board. It was a 4x4, so maybe this much wood. But instead I got 4 times that from Peterman Lumber here in Las Vegas of Goncalo. I think this is going to look great as a fingerboard for this build. The only thing that's going to stop me from having tons of fingerboards out of this is how good I am at resawing, which is sort of a weak point for me. So let's jump over to the bandsaw, resaw a bunch of this, and see which piece we like best for a fretboard. Sound good? Let's do it. Well, my bandsaw cannot handle this, so after last night's disaster and realizing my bandsaw clearly cannot resaw this material, I'm going to make another attempt. I overnighted a thicker bandsaw blade to get a straighter resaw and a sharper, and then I'm going to cut down this material to the width of the end of this fretboard blank, and maybe so that will reduce the amount of resaw that's going through the blade at once and have a sharper, thicker blade for a straighter cut. And if bandsaw still can't do it, then I'll take another blank of mine and we'll just thickness it on the planer and jointer and waste half the material that's available here. I also have an option that I could go to a makerspace, but I don't want to pay another 50 bucks to use tools that I don't know if they want to. Either way, that's a whole nother thing that I'm not going to get into right now. So let's throw this new blade on the bandsaw, cut this guy down to size, and see if we can't resaw this and make ourselves a fretboard. Let's get to it. Wow, that is glorious. That's crazy the difference the blade makes. I'm going to be able to double the amount of necks or fretboards that I get from this material because I'm able to resaw them instead of having to thickness them on the planer and jointer and lose essentially half my material. So let's get to making a fretboard out of these guys, and yeah, I'm thrilled. This is great. Looks like a fretboard to me, or a fretboard blank. Still got to cut the slots in it. It's a day later, and I ran out of space on my camera, but here's where I'm at with the fretboard. Got the rest of the inlay done, and some finish sanding. It's almost a mirror. Still have a couple more coats of oil and such, but I'm really happy. Let's make some back plates. With the shop a little cleaned up, let's take those inserts that we made that fit perfectly into there and cut them out of the leftover material we have from the top. Before I put this away, I'm going to put a little chamfer bit in here and chamfer the edges of these. I think I've done a pretty good job, right? I don't think that I'm going to be able to fit magnets in these thin ones, so they're going to be screwed down. But I think they look pretty damn good. I'm never thrilled that my shop is in my backyard. Always looking forward to having a garage or an actual shop one day, but when the sky looks like this, I mean, it's not all that bad. So I've had a play, and I think I'm gonna change some things. So I was messing around with the back plates, just playing around. I was originally thinking I would keep this all natural, but now after staining these back plates, I really think that I'm gonna do this kind of fiery burst on the top. So if I hate it, I can just sand it off, but let's stain this thing. I'm thrilled. The back plates look great. I still got to make a headstock plate, but this thing is going to be gorgeous. Near the end of my builds, I like to focus on the work and stop talking to the camera so much, so I'm going to power through all this fretwork and final assembly. Well, it's done. The Guitar Fetish P90s sound great, and even unplugged, it has this spanky, funky feel. Though my design limits some of the functionality, and I'm not sure that I love the fiery finish, so I'll definitely be revisiting this build in the future. But for now, I'm just gonna enjoy playing it.